You are welcome to HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. One of the main reasons R. Kelly is currently locked up behind closed doors, serving an indirect life sentence hidden within a 30 years and 20-year sentences combined is the allegation that he violated the Mann Act when he transported 2 women across state lines, allegedly so he could conveniently expose them to an STD while in the destination state. These 2 accusers for which R. Kelly is being charged with the Mann Act are Azriel Clary, who was allegedly transported from her home in Florida to Chicago, and later on to other destinations where R. Kelly was holding a major tour with multiple shows scheduled, and Faith Rogers, who met R. Kelly at a show in her homeland Texas, and followed him everywhere he went in what looked like a long-term intimate relationship. Time and again, the government has been caught off guard trying to modify R. Kelly's allegations into charges that would never apply to these scenarios, as seen with the RICO charges which have never been compatible with R. Kelly's case, yet forced onto the indictment purposely to add 20 years to his jail time as a strategy to see him die in prison. The government has shown that it will do anything in its ability to see R. Kelly locked away and the keys thrown away so he will never be free again. This has however caused them to make some desperate moves that are now threatening to cost them, as R. Kelly is showing even more signs that he will be winning his appeals both in New York and Chicago. The Mann Act was enacted back in the year 1910 and named after Illinois Congressman James Mann. The law basically invoked the Commerce Clause to felonize the transportation of women across state lines for purposes of committing crime, or engaging in immoral purposes such as prostitution among other examples. In R. Kelly's case, the government claims that he did expose these 2 women, Azriel Clary and Faith Rogers, to the risk of contracting an STD without prior disclosure to put them in the know that he had it. The non-consensual exposure being the crime here, and the travel from one state to another being the transportation to justify interstate commerce. The government is most likely to lose this argument though, considering the element of purpose for transportation was never fulfilled. In order to charge a defendant with Mann Act violation, there must be evidence enough to prove that the purpose of transportation across state lines was to commit crime on the other end, or to purposely engage in such moral acts as prostitution and more. In R. Kelly's case however, the focus is on transportation to engage in actual crime, which is exposing the 2 women to an STD without prior information to seek their consent. And this is what makes it very complicated for the government, because it would be highly unlikely that any man would transport a woman to another state purposely to expose them to an STD without consent, as though there is any leverage for this when at the destination. In fact, one of the questions has been what motivation R. Kelly had to leave a state where the action is punished by law, and go to another state where the very same action is equally punishable by law. In fact, during the New York appeal, one of the judges expressed concerns that in fact R. Kelly may have been wrongfully convicted when it came to the Mann Act charges, which demand that the exposure should have been without consent. The displeased female appeal judge asked the state attorney whether the government managed to present evidence to prove that the women were not in the know of R. Kelly's medical condition, and how they got to know this, considering they were not in the bedrooms to hear the communications between these women and the R&B King. This caused the state attorney to panic and reveal the truth, which is that in fact the trial judge used presumption and inference to assume that the women did not know about it. While we are still discussing the adamant behavior of the trial judge and jury and preferring to use mere guesswork to make the decision to lock up a citizen for the rest of his life, there are even more interesting facts to look into that could demonstrate just how much these women were willing to go an extra mile in framing the R&B King. According to a police report which has time and again been spoken of yet left in the darkness without an impact on the case, it turns out it has always been Faith Rogers' habit to frame her boyfriends using her STD scheme to defraud them. In this report is disturbing information that suggests Faith Rogers did file a case against her boyfriend way before she met with R. Kelly, also claiming that he infected her with the same STI herpes she later claimed R. Kelly gave her. This information is enough to disqualify her claims against R. Kelly, and it's not surprising at all that this very same person is again at it, this time with R. Kelly as her new victim. A witness to this matter who happened to be her best friend did spill the beans on social media when she made mention of Faith Rogers' little secret schemes to defraud men using her infection as the perfect excuse. And in fact many supporters and fans of R. Kelly until today question why R. Kelly's previous legal team during trial did not get this report, and why they did not attempt to get this best friend of hers to testify in court. According to Playmaker, I hope all these people that lied on R. Kelly go down. Every media platform that promoted this nonsense and that gave these women platforms to tell lies on him should be made to pay. One of these media houses is The Breakfast Club, which allowed non-verified stories to air on their channels. One may wonder why they are not giving the said Diddy's victims now the same platform to also get their stories out there like they did R. Kelly. It's such that make us wonder whether these media houses were never a part of the R. Kelly takedown plan. According to Yashi, if all this is true, then R. Kelly surely deserves a retrial if not an immediate acquittal. We have been speaking on government witness credibility while everything has been landing on deaf ears. How can this be overlooked when we have a police report to confirm this? If Faith Rogers had already done this to her ex-boyfriend, this could mean she has always used it as a game to extort, and she should therefore be charged for attempting to extort the R&B king. R. Kelly should be released or a retrial granted immediately. If you wish to take part in a live interview on this channel discussing any of these topics, let us know by emailing us on sashahnnewsroom@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say? To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.